Proverbs 21:1 through 22:16. Devotional focus verse. A good name is rather to be chosen than great riches, and loving favor rather than silver and gold. Proverbs 22:1. Bill Gaither, an American singer and songwriter of Southern gospel and contemporary Christian music, tells a story which illustrates the importance of maintaining a good name. Bill and his wife Gloria wanted to build a home in the area where he grew up. They spotted a parcel of land on the outskirts of town and found out the owner was a 92-year-old retired banker. This gentleman owned a great deal of property in the area, but it was well known that he refused to sell any of it. In spite of that fact, Bill and Gloria decided to visit the man in person, hoping to convince him to let them purchase a part of his holdings. The farmer listened politely to their request and then responded the same way he always did. He was not interested in selling. However, after making that statement, he paused and then asked the Gaithers, "What did you say your name was?" Bill responded, "Gaither." The farmer stared at him for a moment and then asked, "Any relation to Grover Gaither?" Bill answered yes, that Grover was his grandfather. Nodding thoughtfully, the farmer commented, "Grover Gaither was the best worker I ever had on my farm. Full day's work for a day's pay. So honest." He looked at Bill and Gloria again. "So what piece of ground did you say you were interested in?" Just a few days later, the purchase agreement was finalized. The farmer sold the Gaithers the 15 acres they wanted, and for substantially less than market value. In the following years, Bill and Gloria often told their children that they had the privilege of growing up on that beautiful, lush piece of property because of the good name of a great-grandfather they had never met. What do people think when they hear your name? Are their recollections and impressions of you positive? Are qualities of graciousness, godliness, diligence, or kindness what come to mind? Today's focus verse lets us know that if we are wise, we will not ignore these questions. Our names matter. A good name is far more than just a unique identifier with a combination of syllables that sound sophisticated, impressive, or classy. It is more than a parental choice to name us after a distinguished ancestor or beloved family member. Solomon used the phrase, "a good name," to denote a good reputation, which was of far more value than great riches. Winning the respect and approval of others requires careful rule of our conduct, making sure that it is consistently righteous and above reproach. That is the only way we will have the positive regard and trust of others. If we are Christians, we represent our Father to others who are watching our lives. We want to make sure that we maintain a good name that will be a credit to the God we love. Background information. Today's text continues a section of Proverbs which began with chapter 10. This segment of the book is comprised primarily of standalone verses which impart common sense instruction and spiritual wisdom related to everyday matters. Many of these maxims have a parallel construction in which the second part of the verse further explains or repeats the first. The topics addressed in this text include God's control, pride, diligence, violence, pleasure-seeking, lying, covetousness, the training of children, generosity, and oppression of the poor. The corner of the housetop mentioned in verse 9 refers to the Hebrew custom of building a small room on the house rooftop to accommodate guests. It was generally less commodious than the area below used by the family and could only be accessed by a ladder. The contentious woman of this verse is also alluded to in verse 19. The scorner referred to in verse 24 is one who is proud and arrogant, and whose unrestrained and contemptuous words prove his corrupt nature. Proverbs 22:6 is a familiar scripture which alludes to child rearing. The verb translated train up indicates the earliest instruction given to a child in his formative years and has the sense of restricting or narrowing forward movement into a prescribed path. This type of restraint directs the child into a manner of living which is intended for him. The writer likely had moral training primarily in mind, as the same word train is used elsewhere in Scripture with a sense of dedicating. While this verse offers reassurance to godly parents who are striving to teach their children the ways of God, it is not a guarantee of salvation. Every individual has been given a free will and must approach God as a matter of personal choice in order to obtain salvation. The Hebrew people took the discipline and instruction of children very seriously. Verse 15 of the same chapter is another admonition to parents who seek to train their children correctly. Like many of Solomon's Proverbs, this one begins with an observation. He noted that foolishness, related to folly, is an integral part of every child's heart. The Hebrew word translated as foolishness is aveleth, and it includes the thought of stubbornness. The rod of correction, symbolic of parental restraint or discipline, is necessary for a child's proper moral development. See also Proverbs 13:24. This verse is not a license for physical mistreatment of a child, but rather it points out that a lack of discipline hinders the child's moral development. It is the responsibility of parents to ensure that their children have a clear understanding of right and wrong, and loving discipline is a key factor in developing that understanding. Conclusion: a good reputation and the loving approval of others are far more important than other measures of success.
Chapter 21. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, as the rivers of water. He turneth it whithersoever he will. Every way of a man is right in his own eyes, but the Lord pondereth the hearts. To do justice and judgment is more acceptable to the Lord than sacrifice. An high look and a proud heart, and the plowing of the wicked is sin. The thoughts of the diligent tend only to plenteousness, but of every one that is hasty only to want. The getting of treasures by a lying tongue is a vanity tossed to and fro of them that seek death. The robbery of the wicked shall destroy them, because they refuse to do judgment. The way of man is froward and strange, but as for the pure, his work is right. It is better to dwell in a corner of the housetop than with a brawling woman in a wide house. The soul of the wicked desireth evil, his neighbor findeth no favor in his eyes. When the scorner is punished, the simple is made wise, and when the wise is instructed, he receiveth knowledge. The righteous man wisely considereth the house of the wicked, but God overthroweth the wicked for their wickedness. Whoso stoppeth his ears at the cry of the poor, he also shall cry himself, but shall not be heard. The gift in secret pacifieth anger, and a reward in the bosom strong wrath. It is joy to the just to do judgment, but destruction shall be to the workers of iniquity. The man that wandereth out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead. He that loveth pleasure shall be a poor man. He that loveth wine and oil shall not be rich. The wicked shall be a ransom for the righteous, and the transgressor for the upright. It is better to dwell in the wilderness than with a contentious and an angry woman. There is treasure to be desired, and oil in the dwelling of the wise, but a foolish man spendeth it up. He that followeth after righteousness and mercy findeth life, righteousness, and honor. A wise man scaleth the city of the mighty, and casteth down the strength of the confidence thereof. Whoso keepeth his mouth and his tongue keepeth his soul from troubles. Proud and haughty scorner is his name, who dealeth in proud wrath. The desire of the slothful killeth him, for his hands refuse to labor. He coveteth greedily all the day long, but the righteous giveth and spareth not. The sacrifice of the wicked is abomination, how much more when he bringeth it with a wicked mind. A false witness shall perish, but the man that heareth speaketh constantly. A wicked man hardeneth his face, but as for the upright, he directeth his way. There is no wisdom, nor understanding, nor counsel against the Lord. The horse is prepared against the day of battle, but safety is of the Lord.
Proverbs chapter 22. A good name is rather to be chosen than great riches, and loving favor rather than silver and gold. The rich and poor meet together, the Lord is the maker of them all. A prudent man foreseeth the evil, and hideth himself, but the simple pass on, and are punished. By humility and the fear of the Lord are riches, and honor, and life. Thorns and snares are in the way of the froward, he that doth keep his soul shall be far from them. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. The rich ruleth over the poor, and the borrower is servant to the lender. He that soweth iniquity shall reap vanity, and the rod of his anger shall fail. He that hath a bountiful eye shall be blessed, for he giveth of his bread to the poor. Cast out the scorner, and contention shall go out, yea, strife and reproach shall cease. He that loveth pureness of heart, for the grace of his lips the king shall be his friend. The eyes of the Lord preserve knowledge, and he overthroweth the words of the transgressor. The slothful man saith, There is a lion without, I shall be slain in the streets. The mouth of strange women is a deep pit, he that is abhorred of the Lord shall fall therein. Foolishness is bound in the heart of a child, but the rod of correction shall drive it far from him. He that oppresseth the poor to increase his riches, and he that giveth to the rich, shall surely come to want. Bow down thine ear, and hear the words of the wise, and apply thine heart unto my knowledge. For it is a pleasant thing if thou keep them within thee, they shall withal be fitted in thy lips. That thy trust may be in the Lord, I have made known to thee this day, even to thee. Have not I written to thee excellent things in counsels and knowledge? That I might make thee know the certainty of the words of truth, that thou mightest answer the words of truth to them that send unto thee. Rob not the poor, because he is poor, neither oppress the afflicted in the gate. For the Lord will plead their cause, and spoil the soul of those that spoiled them. Make no friendship with an angry man, and with a furious man thou shalt not go. Lest thou learn his ways, and yet a snare to thy soul. Be not thou one of them that strike hands, or of them that are sureties for debts. If thou hast nothing to pay, why should he take away thy bed from under thee? Remove not the ancient landmark, which thy fathers have set. Seest thou a man diligent in his business? He shall stand before kings, he shall not stand before mean men.